So this is going to be a recording of bits and pieces throughout Mabon, and I just thought I would show you, there's my foot, the line of sunlight. I don't know if this will... Power of the sun in equal measures. So I've done a chakra meditation this morning in the light of the sun in honour of the light half of Mabon. Many blessings. Alright guys, so this is the next bit of my Mabon video. I'm in the kitchen. This part of the video at some point will contain the showing of meat of chicken. So if you're vegetarian or vegan and you're uncomfortable with that, just be aware that that will be in a minute. So I'm going to talk about how I make my marinade, and I've got my kitchen mortar and pestle, which is obviously separate from my normal mortar and pestle. And I'm talking you through this because of the element of magic you can see within cooking, which is something I've talked about before. And this is a rub that goes over the skin of the chicken when it is cooked. So first and foremost, I put a chicken stock cube in, and then salt. This is coarse sea salt. Obviously, any which is worth their salt. Know the benefits of salt. It's hugely purifying. It's a really good base in magics. So this is how magics and cooking come together. A lot of spells are a lot like cooking. So when you are creating things like this, it's worth keeping in mind the magical properties of things you're putting in and putting your energy in for that purpose. We like our chicken skin with a spicier mix, and that you'll see now. So I'm going to put some chili flakes in. Chilies are a really good banisher of negativity. And some Szechuan pepper. Pepper's another good banisher of negativity, so just a couple of them because they're quite hot. And then grind it in. And then in this bowl, I'm going to put some mustard. Now, let's just have a look, see if this book actually says anything about mustard. Here we go. Mustard has a reputation of being an exceptional herb for providing good health. It's a herb of protection. It's good for the throat, etc. So it's worth knowing, you know, magical uses. Unfortunately, we have this horrid squeezy bottle because when we went to Tesco last time, they didn't have any of the glass bottles, which I prefer. I did get one, because this is nearly finished now. I did get one when we went again, so we do have a glass bottle in the fridge now, but I have to finish up this one, which has been a pain from start to finish. It really has. I hate squeezy bottles for stuff like this. So that's the English mustard. If you wanted a slightly less hot and spicy version, you could of course use French mustard or Dijon mustard. French Dijon mustard. Okay, so then we pop the spicy mix into there. I probably should have kept that spoon actually, thinking about it. I'll have to get a clean one now because I've stuck it in the sink. And then there are two ways that you can then apply this. You can put olive oil into this mix, olive oil into this mix, and then rub that all over the chicken. But the way I am going to do it is by putting the olive oil on the chicken. I might put a little bit in both, just to make this a bit more fluid. Yeah, I might put a little bit in both. Right, so I'm going to bring the chicken over now. This is a big chicken. The gnome and I always get a big chicken because we have it over 2 or 3 days. We will have 2 days worth of roast, and then sandwiches. This is my olive oil. So I've just put some in there just to give it more of a paste consistency. Yeah, that's a bit more like paste now. And then with clean hands, which I have, I'm basting the chicken. Like I said, this is a big chicken. It is a British free-ranged corn-fed chicken. We are meat eaters, but we try to observe animal rights as much as possible. We buy from a local butcher's as much as possible, who rears all his own. I know that's going to be a matter of debate for some people. Because a lot of pagans are vegan or vegetarian, and that's fine, that's a personal choice. Let's not get into that. So then we are rubbing magically created marinade into the chicken. Very messy hand job this. But that's okay, you're getting your fingers in, you're getting your power in, you're getting your energy in, rubbing it all in. It's nice and spicy for me and my love. Spicy for the passion. Passion and love, and a purifying and getting rid of negativity at the same time. Bring that joy in. Chilies sometimes are used in there. Lust spells, I guess, as well, so you never know. Maybe this will make it a very happy Mabon for Rowan Joey. Amuse myself. if you didn't want to do this is spicy as I've done it, there are other things you could use instead. I recommend the chicken, stock cubes and salt, because they taste really nice with chicken, and the salt crisps up the skin, and the olive oil, which is healthier than other oils. You could use garlic salt, or you could just crush up some garlic in there. You could use any herbs you fancied, you know, you could use like rosemary, oregano if you liked. You could use sage. I'll be using sage in my homemade stuffing, which will be the continuation of this video. So you can just use your favourite herbs and spices, and just use the chicken stock cube, olive oil and salt base, and then just mix and match it, and it changes the flavour up completely. It's lovely. Right, so I will then cover this with tin foil. It will go in the oven for 2 hours at 180 degrees centigrade, maybe slightly longer, and then I take the foil off the last half an hour at least. So that's how I then cook the chicken. So that was just basically talking about marinades, and how a marinade can bring magic into your kitchen cookery. So this is my Mabon chicken, and I shall carry on with some homemade stuffing in a moment. Hey guys, so I'm back. Just going to show you this briefly. This is homemade Yorkshire pudding batter mix, and it's actually gluten-free because I have reactions to some large amounts of gluten. It is 2 eggs, 100 grams of plain gluten-free flour, and milk, and then salt and pepper, and then just whisked. And I make it in advance and leave it to stand. I also sieve the flour as I'm putting it in, and then just beat it with a fork until it's runny. And then I get my Yorkshire tray, put oil in it in the bottom, put it in the oven for half an hour, and then pour the mixture into that hot oil, and they rise. And you have to be ever so careful when you do that though. So that's that. And now I'm going to show you my homemade stuffing. First of all, in here is breadcrumbs and sage. And the bread, we bought cheapy bread and left it out to dry out overnight. And cut the crusts off this morning, and the crusts can go out for the birds or for ducks if you have them. Or if you have a gnome. Gnomes like to wander kitchens and eat bread. He ate half of them, so he's well fed now. He couldn't wait. So, and obviously sage is a really wonderful herb in magic. So I mean, it has all sorts of uses. Now this is a colander above a plastic measuring jug, and I cut up some onion. An onion. I'll show you, I've got more than one, so I'll show you what onion I use. Onion is a fantastic Mabon, this type of onion, Mabon vegetable, autumn vegetable. And while you're chopping up onion, hold a wooden spoon in your mouth, and a clean one, and it will stop your eyes from crying. Stop them stinging as much. Right, and then you put your onion pieces into a saucepan with some hot water, and soften them once you've cut them up. I'll show you in a second. And we're putting the onions into the colander and saving the water in here because we're going to use the water as well. So then we just empty the onion out into there. As you can see. And give it a stir. Into the bottom of this I have put into the water, I have put a chicken stock cube because you don't tend to use all the water, and the water I don't use I save and use when I'm making gravy for extra flavour. So just pour in a little bit at a time like that and then give it a stir. And it will be hot at this point, so it's best to use a spoon. You can use your hands as long as they're clean, in a bit once the water's cooled down a little. But at this point you don't want to burn yourself. Stuffing is one of my favourites. Probably my favourite food. Right, so that might do. This will then be put around the chicken. Of the right sort of consistency. So this is just sage and onion stuffing. You can put other things in there if you want, other herbs. I prefer my stuffing as sage and onion stuffing. Let's have a taste. That's nice. So there we go, sage and onion stuffing, and that goes in the oven for half an hour, cooked maybe a little bit longer if you want it crispier, around the chicken. So that's it for now. Many blessings. Hi guys, so I thought we'd just talk about veg. Tasty veg. So we have, going into our veg roast for our roast dinner, we're going to have parsnip. This has been peeled and then sliced, and I will roast the parsnip. Cauliflower. Remember the harvest song? Cauliflower's fluffy. We have broccoli, which I haven't cut up yet, swede, which I haven't cut up yet, and in there are some potatoes which are going to be parboiled, and I will roast the potatoes as well. So I parboil the parsnips and the potatoes, and then they go in the oven to roast with some olive oil and possibly some salt. So these are all autumn vegetables. We have root vegetables with the I was going to get carrot and we forgot. Never mind, but we've got parsnip, and we've got cauliflower and swede and broccoli and potatoes. And potatoes are particularly significant around Mabon because they've grown in the earth in the dark, and we're entering the dark half of the year. Potatoes are a really good alternative to a roast dinner. We were going to have that originally, but I decided I wanted a bit more, so a bit more lavish, because we are limited on the family things we can do. So this is just quickly just to tell you about the veg, which is all bought locally as much as possible, sourced locally, etc. So there we go for now. Many blessings.